I'll scooch back here to my mat, and I will say that I'd like to start on our backs today. So let's all come to our backs on the mat. And we're going to start in constructive rest pose. So in constructive rest pose, I'm going to walk my feet to the outer edges of my mat, and I'm going to let my knees drop together. And then your arms can either be out, or it's kind of nice sometimes to have your hands right on your belly, because then you can feel yourself breathing. So we're going to center ourselves here with some breathing. So get comfortable. If you'd rather be in Shavasana with your legs straight, go for it. I know a lot of people, it doesn't feel good in their backs, especially in the morning when you're just kind of waking up and getting your body moving. So I like to start in constructive rest pose. I'm going to put my hands right on my belly. You all can be just gazing at the ceiling. I suggest eyes closed. Of course, you can have your eyes open. I'm not making you do anything. You do what feels right for you in your body. And a lot of people don't like to close their eyes. If you feel like you want to cover yourself up with a blanket at any time, feel free to do that. That's an option. If there's anything that we're doing that hurts, you don't do it. You back off. And I'm going to talk more about the practice as we move through it. So let's just start by centering ourselves. Feel yourself lying on the floor, whatever is connected to the floor. So if you're in constructive rest like me, that's your feet. It's your hips, your back, your arms, the back of your arms, the back of your head, and feel all of those places touching on the earth. And then let yourself sink into those places. So you're just getting heavier and you're letting go of any muscle tension that you have, softening. Of course, we're always breathing. So let's just feel how the breath is moving through our body now without trying to change anything. Take your breath through your nose whenever you can, out through the nose or the mouth. And each time you exhale, you get a little bit softer. You let go of a little bit more tension. Breathing in, breathing out, we keep our mind on the breath. All of the other things that we have to worry about, to think about, to cogitate on, those things are all disappearing, hopefully, or at least becoming a little bit fuzzy, fading off into the background. And allow yourself to stay connected to your body and to your breath. Let the inhalation be a little bit deeper now. For the next few breaths, let the inhalation be a little bit deeper. Let the exhalation be a little longer. And then every time you get to that space at the end of the exhalation, hang out there a little bit. Experience what stillness is like in your body in that space. And then let's create an intention for our practice. An intention can be something as simple as intend to be present throughout this entire practice as best I can. I intend to remember my breath. I intend to be fully present to what I'm doing today for myself. Could be whatever you want it to be, but something positive. And then let's start to warm up. And we're going to do that by pulling both of our knees into the chest, just a little back and forth. We're not going to spend a lot of time on warm-ups, but just want to get your body moving a little bit. We're going to circle the knees around. And then we'll circle them the other direction. And then let's lift our arms and legs in the air, and let's just do an upside down turtle imitation here. So we're wiggling and moving all of our joints everywhere. So try to get fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, elbows, shoulders, hips, all of it. This practice that we do today is mainly for our low back and hips. Hallelujah. Isn't that what everybody calls out? Right? When I ask for suggestions at the beginning of class, low back and hips, that's where we all feel it. So we're focusing on those particular parts of the body today. Let's pull the knees into the chest once again. A little rock from side to side. Now in a yin practice, we're holding each of these postures 3 to 5 minutes on each side. So if we're doing something one-sided, we'll hold it 3 minutes or 5 minutes on one side and then 3 to 5 minutes on the other side. Okay, so I'll talk more about that when we get into it. We're going to do our first posture now, which is knee to chest, but we're going to do it one side at a time. You decide. We're going to start with the right knee. All right, so we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. And instead of pulling, maybe I shouldn't have said pulling, instead of pulling, just use the weight of your arms. So your hands are interlaced around your right knee, and you're just going to hold that knee. And the weight of your arms is doing all the work. You're not doing any work. Maybe a little holding your fingers together, right? Your left leg can be straight, like this, or it can be bent. Straight is going to be more intense. You decide where you want to be. We're going to completely relax into the posture. Completely relaxing into the posture. So there is no effort. We're getting as still as we can. And we're holding this posture. We're going to hold this one for 3 minutes on each side. Try to be as still as you can once you get into the posture. Use as little effort as you possibly can. So we find that same relaxation that we did when we were just breathing in constructive rest pose. Letting go and letting go. Our focus is always on breath. It's on sensation. We notice how hard or easy it is to keep our attention and our focus on our body and our breath. Of course, we are ever forgiving of ourselves. You find yourself floating away, gently bring it back. This is going to be a very quiet practice today. I won't do as much talking as I have in this first few minutes. So relax and let go. Be still in your own space. We'll slowly release the knee to let the right foot float to the earth. And then let's draw the left knee in, and we're doing the same thing. We're going to wrap our interlaced fingers around our knee, around our shin, and then let your arms be heavy. Decide whether you want your right leg to be straight or bent. Either is fine, straight is more intense. Practice letting go. Practice allowing gravity to hold you and to pull you deeper into this posture. Allow gravity to pull you closer to the earth. Focus on sensation and the breath, and let go, let go, let go. Let's pull the right knee into the chest. Wrap your arms around both your legs. Give yourself a hug and a little rock. And then let's all roll to one side. So you're rolling into fetal position. Put your top hand on the ground and push yourself up. So we're pushing ourselves up from that position on our backs, and we're going to go to our baby dragon. So this posture is a little bit more yang. So we've got some yin and yang going on here, this balance of yin and yang in this practice, mostly yin, but a little bit of yang. We're going to do that now. So we're going to come to our hands and knees. We'll start with the right leg again. We'll step the right foot forward. Now, this is where if you have blocks or something that would lift up your hands like this, you might find this a little bit easier than having your hands on the floor. We're going to slide the left leg back just a little bit. So you can have your hands on the floor here. We want to make sure our knee is over our ankle. Move that so you can see this, knee over ankle, not forward of the ankle. We want to feel this is where we're going for, right here, front of the left thigh. So I'm going to use my blocks just so that I can feel like I'm a little bit more in alignment through my spine. And we're going to start here, and we'll hold this for about 3 minutes too. So the gaze is forward, the shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, the jaw is loose. If you find that this is too much, then don't come so far forward. Land somewhere like this. Maybe your blocks come to a higher position. Or if your belly gets in the way, assuming that you have one, maybe you don't, you could bring your hands to the inside of your foot. And that way, that takes you to the inside of your right leg. May make that a little bit more comfortable. I speak only for myself, right? I've got that little belly. Okay, so here, those are your choices. Find a place where you're comfortable, where you can be still. And let's breathe. I am going to remind those of you who get cramps in your feet that you could tuck your toes if you feel like your feet are cramping up. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your face, breathe. Notice how you're feeling about this. And then let's let our hips relax back a little bit. And then bring your right knee next to your left knee. And we're going to go to the other side. So you could start from table like we did before. You could keep your blocks there. If you were using blocks, we're going to bring the left foot forward and rock the pelvis forward. So you notice from this position to this position, I'm going to get more of a stretch in my right hip. I like using my blocks. You could use those alternatives that I mentioned on the other side. Let's be here and breathe. We'll hold this for 3 minutes. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. You feel like you're lengthening your neck right out of your shoulders instead of collapsing on the knee. We want to feel like we're lengthening out, like we're shooting out over our knee. Let's breathe and be here. Let's take one more big breath. Let it out. And then we'll rock our hips back. Bring our left knee next to our right knee, and we're coming into a wide-legged child's pose. This might be a place where you want to use some of your props, right? I've got a pillow. I've got 2 blankets here. This makes a nice little nest for me. I'm going to turn my head to one side. I've got my knees very wide. My feet are closer together. We're going to hold this for 5 minutes. You could also be on something lower. You don't like the way that feels to be up so high? Maybe just a pillow, or maybe all the way down to the ground. So you decide where you want to be. The closer you are to the ground, the more intense this is going to be. So if you've got yourself built up, you'll feel less sensation generally. You decide how much sensation you want to feel. Relaxing, letting go, getting as still as you possibly can. Relax through your shoulders, neck, and jaw. Follow the flow of the breath. I should say, for those of you who cannot get into child's pose because your knees are unhappy here, let yourself turn over and hold your knees to your chest. It's the same position, less stress on your knees. You could even hold underneath your knees. Notice where your mind goes and bring it back to the breath. Breath flows in and breath flows out. Slow and easy. From your child's pose, bring your hands to the floor, either side of your props. Push yourself up. We're going to come to a seated position with our feet wide in front of us. I'm going to do a little rotation here. So we're doing a posture in Yin, which is called deer pose. I do this sometimes in my classes. We'll drop the knees over to the right side. We're going to arrange the legs so they're somewhat both at a 90-degree angle. So you've got a 90-degree angle here, you've got a 90-degree angle here. You're going to have to kind of play around with how that feels in your knee. If it feels more comfortable to come to the top of your foot here, do that. If it's okay to be on the big toe side of your foot here, stay there. We're going to rotate all the way around to the right. We turn a little bit so you can see what this looks like. And we're just putting our hands on the floor like this. And we're going to stop here in this rotation. If you want to come down to your forearms and that feels okay, feel free to do that. This would be another opportunity to build a little pile here. Right? And you could be on your forearms here if that's more comfortable. So we're going to rotate the torso here a little bit. We'll hold this for 3 minutes on each side. I think the trick here is to relax your shoulders, to relax your head. If you feel like you want to drop your head, feel free to do that if that's more comfortable for you. Relax through your hips. Relax through your mouth. Relax through your shoulders. Notice where the breath moves in your body, a little different when you're in this position. So feel where the breath moves in your body. Let that be your focus. Now let's remove our hands from the floor. We'll let the knees drop to the other side. So starting with our feet on the floor again. Let your knees drop over to the left. Let's find that approximate 90-degree angle through both of our legs. The legs are apart from each other. And we're going to rotate to the left. Put your hands on the floor or your forearms on the prop like we saw on the other side here. And then relax. Relax into the twist. Feel the tension draining from your low back. I can feel it draining from my low back. In a Yin practice, we're getting into the fascia. We're getting into connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, places where we don't go in a regular Hatha practice because we move too fast. So in a Yin practice, we slow it down. We have a chance to get into some of those structures. So relax and let gravity pull you. Let gravity hold you. And let your breath relax you. Let's release the twist. We'll come all the way back up to the center, and we're going to take our legs wide. If you have tighter hamstrings and you know it, put yourself up on a pillow. So sit on a pillow with your hips on the pillow and your legs spilling over the front. Even if you don't have tight hamstrings, it feels good. We're going to go forward here, and we're going to hold this for, we'll hold it for about 4 minutes. If you are the person that folds forward and doesn't get very far, then maybe you want to build yourself a little pile here of pillows, of blankets, so that you have something to land on. If you know you're not going to go that far, just hang out on your hands. Some of you might be able to get your forehead on the floor here, or your forehead on a block. So wherever you land, that's where you're going to stay. You might soften up your knees. That makes this a little bit less intense. Sorry. You could put your legs a little closer together. That would make it a little less intense. If your knees are bent, putting something underneath them is going to keep them bent without you having to put forth any effort. So you decide where you're going. And let's hold this for a few minutes. Relax your shoulders, neck, and jaw. As always, when we're stretching our hips, jaw likes to get involved. Don't let jaw get involved. Relax your tongue. Follow your breath. Let's begin to release from the posture, slowly moving out, drawing the legs back to the center. Maybe a little tap if you feel like you need it with your legs. And then we're going to go back to our backs again. So for this next posture, we're going to do supine butterfly. So supine bound angle pose, for those of you who take my classes, we're going to do that posture on our backs. Sometimes if you're tight through your hip flexors and your knees don't come down very far, you'll find that if you put something underneath each one of your legs, you can relax a little bit more. So I'm just going to give you that suggestion so you can grab things before you get to your back if you need to. And then we're going to get down to our back. We'll just walk ourselves down. Nice and easy. And then we bring the soles of the feet together and the knees drop out. Some of you won't need props at all. Some of you, your knees drop out and you feel perfectly fine lying here. You're good. Some of you will need that extra little prop underneath your knees. I'm going to suggest that here we put our hands right back on our belly so we can follow our breath. And we're going to hold this for about 5 minutes. Getting as still as you can. Some of you might like to cover up. It's a long time to lie still on a chilly morning. So if you feel like you'd like to throw a blanket over yourself, feel free to do that. Allow gravity to take you. Gravity is pulling you right into the earth. So don't fight it. Let it go. Let your whole body relax. Feel that beautiful wave of breath in your belly, rising and falling. Our yin practice brings a balance of yin and yang into our lives. So much of our lives are yang energy. They're rushing energy. They're trying energy. They're moving energy. So much of our yoga practice is a yang practice focused on muscle. So yin is the balance of that. It slows us down. It allows us to focus on breathing. It moves us into the moment, and it balances all that yang energy. So let yourself go into it, enjoy. Be free. Let's slowly draw our knees together. We'll draw them into the chest. Put your hands right on your kneecaps. Let's do a little circle around. We'll circle the other way. And then let's put our feet back on the floor and come either into constructive rest again or move into Shavasana. I'll suggest that you cover yourself with a blanket if you're in a chilly place. We're going to be here for a little longer than usual. We'll hold Shavasana for about 7 minutes today. If your chin points to the ceiling when you're in Shavasana, put a little blanket underneath your head. Not a big one, just a little lift so that your chin and forehead are more level to each other. And then let yourself settle in. Get as comfortable as you possibly can. We're giving way to gravity once again. Traveling through your body and noticing the places that still want to hold even after a relaxing practice. And let go. Send your breath to places of tension, areas of tightness, places where you're holding. And let your breath help you let go. Let your breath become very quiet. And allow yourself to lie here without judgment for yourself, your body, or anybody else. Allow yourself to just be without labeling, without controlling, without trying. Letting go and letting go. Let's begin to deepen the breath again. We'll let fingers and toes begin to move. Let your head turn. And then bending your knees if they're not already, and we'll roll to the right side. Come into fetal position. Take a moment in gratitude for your body, for your breath, for this practice, this yin practice. And then using your right hand, your left hand, put your left hand on the floor. You're on your right side. Top hand, push yourself up using that hand all the way up to seated position. We'll bring our hands together in front of the heart. And as we rest here, just notice how you feel. Notice what effect this practice has had on your body, your mind, your spirit. Enjoy that peace and quiet just for a moment. May peace, joy, love, compassion, and gratitude fill your heart today and every day to overflowing. Namaste. And I thank you all for joining me, and I hope you feel good. And I hope I'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful long weekend.
Thank you, Leslie. It was
Thank you.
perfect.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Love you.